Well, I want to pick up something that you said that was very interesting among the rest of the things that were very interesting, and I can relate on that jumping from profession to profession, given the doors that open and you start in one place and then finish in another completely different that you never imagined. So I can relate to that, Thomas. But you said that you are going through your third beer market,
Yeah,
and that's full training in that regard. So knowing that, plus your experience in finances, not in so much traditional, but so much in crypto, even discovering crypto in a very early age. Given this third market, bear market, and how the market is right now, which sectors or markets itself you consider to have the greatest growth potential towards the future? And if you think there is one or more than one, why they have that growth potential?
that's a very interesting question, Matthias. And I'm actually writing a LinkedIn series of posts on the sectors that I really like. So it's a good time to think about that. One thing I'm very big on right now, I spend a lot of time on it, and I make my team at work spend a lot of time on it, is AI. I love that. The team love it. It fastens the work a lot. On crypto, you have a couple coins that are focusing on AI. There is a French one, iExec, and the token is RLC. You have Ocean Protocol, and you have a couple other one like FXS. I don't remember the name of the project. Even if those projects, the AI parts are very limited right now, the use cases, etc., is limited. But if AI, ChatGPT, Midjourney continues to perform those coins, it's sure that they're going to perform. If the AI in the regular world perform, those coins are going to be used as proxies, ways to expose yourself to AI, because you can't invest in OpenAI. It's already, Elon Musk already did it. So you people are going to use proxies, other ways to invest. And those coins, perhaps there are others that I don't know about, but those are my short list. Those coins are sure to see some light. I'm not telling you it's going to be X100, but X2, X5, that's sure on a bull run. The next sector I'm very interested in, and it's a pretty technical sector, so we can't go too much into the details, but it's the zero knowledge proof, ZKP, because two sectors that for me are underrated right now are privacy and identity. And ZKP is useful for both as a base layer, infrastructure layer, for privacy, for identity. Zero knowledge, it's a concept that allows you to share the fact that you know an information without sharing that exact information. So it's a bit of mathematics, but it's useful for a ton of stuff like online voting. You want to vote with a crypto address like matthias.eth, but you don't want everyone to know what you are voting. Are you voting for this president? Are you voting for this law? Like it's only for you to know. And ZKP, it allows you to vote and to not have this info public on the blockchain while the blockchain is public. And so for me, it's key to bringing the blockchain to a next level. And so you also have identity. Vitalik, the founder of Ethereum, he published his paper in March or April 2022 about soulbound tokens. So it's tokens with identity, and you can't send them from a wallet to another. But if you have your whole identity on chain and you use it to authenticate to something, someone can see that, everything. And ZKP, it solves that. So you can have your identity on chain, on the public blockchain, and have that identity private. So everything linked to ZKP, for me, it's very promising. And all the use cases that are derived from that. So identity, privacy, there is some finance stuff that can be done with ZKP, but it's not the main point for me.
Right. Well, I'll bring that interest in artificial intelligence. I'll go back to that in a follow-up question, but because I want to link it with Alphaverse precisely, and if there is a link to it. Regarding CBI, you told us you have been there over the last year, and could you tell us about any important achievements for your consideration? But because you might have many, but important achievements or milestones that CBI has reached in recent times, or that it's close to reach from your perspective?
Yeah, sure. We are doing so much stuff. What's the
Right.
biggest thing we've done? I think the biggest thing we've done right now is that we announced just before Christmas that we are working on a metaverse about football. So our
Mm.
CEO is very well connected and has a vast network that has allowed us to talk to some of the biggest football clubs in the world. And I can't disclose the names, but it's already public that we are working on football. But so we are building custom-made experiences for football clubs and their fans. And it's the biggest thing we are working on right now. So the clubs that are signed are going to be announced at a later date, but we are already working on the environment, the blockchain integration, and I've played football for 15 years, so it's like, and I'm a big gamer, so it's the best of all the worlds that are united for me at work. One thing that happened today, like this morning, is that we finished to integrate the Ready Player Me software, I mean SDK, into our metaverse. So right now, the users, they can take a picture of themselves and create a full realistic avatar with the same proportion, same size, same height, customize it however they want, put angel wings on it, but it's their exact face. If they choose to, they can put any image. So that's one big thing that happened today. It took quite some time to integrate because it's a complex tech, and we have to make sure that the avatars are animated like we want. So we have to take 3D models from someone else and make sure that they work
Right.
with our stuff. And something that is ongoing, since CBI is a publicly listed company, like on the stock exchange, we are doing right now rights issue, meaning that we are creating extra shares and allowing the public to purchase them at a price that is lower than the market price. Like right now, the stock is valued at $1, and the public can subscribe to the stock at 80 cents. So I think that's the three biggest things. Oh, and I can't not mention that we are opening the second test phase of the Alphaverse hub in February.
Right. Well, we will reach to Alphavets, but one question before going into the Alphavets, because it's something that we got in previous Binance lives, and we understood that most people here is interested, but many people as well is into some project or some startup or just to creating something. And uh, how do you see the future of investment into the different markets globally, and who do you plan to adapt your strategy to meet these future challenges or potential investments or potential acquisition of startups? Of how do you plan your strategy towards the future in that regard, or which elements do you have in mind in order to capture the attention of something that's uh, just growing or just happening, and maybe part of the communities into something, and wanted to be discovered by strategists and investments and people like with your knowledge?
So in my time, I've seen three clear trends in crypto. Since I was really focused on crypto, so
Mm.
since 2017, the ICO. The first one was you did an ICO, you made money. That was no go, clear. Everyone could do it. In the next bull run in 2020, 2021, that was dead. So only the biggest project with the perfect marketing and the right communication could do a big ICO. Some did awesome ICOs in France, but they were really a big project with institutional backing, focusing on healthcare, like promising stuff, not just random stuff. So that was the first thing. You had to have fundamentals, and I think this is going to be even harder in the next bull run. That a nice story for a tokenomics valuation isn't enough. Each and every project will need a traditional business plan with cash flow, with valuation of the company, with a clear break-even point. And we already see that VCs have a way tighter money management system. I've raised with the Swiss project 5 million in an instant with a somewhat okay pitch deck and a great crypto app. But that was okay. At that time, it was okay. But the standard is evolving. We see that some people that were considered the biggest, the brightest, even them made a lot of mistakes by just buying nice stories. We can take the example of Alameda Capital. They just bought tokens on nice stories, even if they had some of the brightest mind in the investment world, because it was the trend. I'm a big gamer, and in investment and like in gaming, especially in crypto investment, there is a meta game. Meta is most efficient tactic available. Like when you're playing Call of Duty, are you using a submachine gun or a big gun? Because they do patches. And in trading and investments, it's the same thing. You have cycles and meta. And the meta is changing. And now it's the tokenomics and the need for a token. It's changing a lot. And so to adapt to that, CBI is focusing on real use cases. One of the things that I did not mention in the promising sectors is the real life assets going on chain. For me, it's something that's going to happen a bit in the shadows. It's not a very retail public domain, not some the stuff that interests a lot of us, but home loans, gold, diamonds, that kind of stuff is going to go on chain. And with strong fundamentals, you actually have something behind, but you have the blockchain layer on top to make it better.
Right.
And so CBI is also focusing on this. We are looking to make some plays on things with real assets behind them.
Right. Well, and now, yes.
Sorry, Mati.
Yeah.
I have here a question from WhatsApp. Some people tell or wants to know how smart money select different projects. Yes, how this type of companies select projects. You talk about the fundamentals of the project. Some points you say before, but well, how much more, for example, CBI or another funds can select project? What are they seeing? Sorry, what are they seeing about the project?
What are they seeing or saying? Sorry, couldn't hear well.
Seeing, sorry. Seeing.
Oh, you know, when you go, it really depends on the way you get approached. If you send a pitch deck, you need those strong fundamentals. You need a clear business plan, and everything should be fluid, like they do, like the produce. You can type online for anyone that wants to look, and look for Coinbase pitch deck that was created in 2011. The pitch deck is super simple, but the value proposition, anyone that saw that pitch deck and believed in crypto, they got it. Like they got it. They was okay. This is one of the base foundation of a new industry, and they invested. And so if you're doing outreach on LinkedIn, mail, you need that strong pitch deck, strong financial. If you get an intro, like you introduce me to Matthias and we get a chat, the people and the funds, they are betting as much on founders, so the people behind the project, that they are betting on the fundamentals. This first, if you get on a call, this first vibe, this first approach, it's absolutely key, because investment is not only a number business, a money business, it's a people business. We are investing in the people behind the project. That's why we love working with Xave, because there are some people there behind the project.
You're just saying that because I'm here, Thomas.
Oh, no.
Come on.
I mean, you know that I'm in love with Juan.
That's right. Well, we will put it in context. There's a lot of Xave community people here now. I know for a fact. So so it's a good time to go to the Alphaverse. I believe that's you give us a hint of entering the Alphaverse project. To start with, what is Alphaverse? What is Alphaverse, and what's the vision behind the project and behind these projects that are part of Alphaverse? Then I keep pinching, if you name Xave, I keep pinching in that. But what is the Alphaverse itself as a whole, and the vision behind the projects towards the future?
So the vision behind Alphaverse is what drives almost everything in the Alphaverse, and it's declined in two ambitions. The vision is to create a single entry point for all the metaverses. So we are creating some metaverses. We are developing our own, like this entry point. We are partnering up with people that give us licenses, like the football clubs. And we are also doing acquisitions, like with Xave, and partnering up with third parties that just want to benefit from the traffic, share users, like we have a partnership with Chain Games, which is a skill-based blockchain layer. Basically, you play Call of Duty with a mate, and you say that you get 10 kills before him, and you bet 1 USDT on it. If you're right, you take the USDT from your mate. And so we have all of this focusing on creating a single entry point for all the metaverses. So this is the vision, and the ambition is really to have only one launcher for all the metaverses, and the Alphaverse launcher. Basically, anyone that wants to go to Sandbox, to Decentraland, our ambition is to have everything connected and a single entry point. And so the second ambition that goes with that is to recreate a game publisher on the blockchain, because the executive, the guys that founded the company, they are very big on gaming, and they spent the last 30 years building video games for some of the biggest entertainment companies in the world. And so now we want to recreate that on the blockchain, basically Ubisoft, EA games, but for blockchain games, metaverse experiences, play to earn games.
Right, perfect. Talking about that, Alphaverse, you described it as a one entry point, basically a hub. If there is any differential from what we traditionally understand as a hub, in terms of not just the doors to enter, but to interconnect the experiences, rather than, because those that we know Alphaverse, and we invite you all to go to the website, search for Alphaverse in social media to understand the concept of the projects and the projects that are inside Alphaverse and are part of the Alphaverse thus far. And the idea of the interconnection between them, even not be related in terms of the industry behind, even relating sports with music, with, in our case, so two cases of music actually within the Alphaverse. So how the interconnection works rather than just being an entry point.
The interconnection, you can think of it several ways. Depends on what's easiest for you, but you can think of it as the Ready Player One. Like it's a city, you have neighborhoods, districts, and in each building of each district, you can access a different game, a different experience. But you can also think of it as the biggest airport you've ever seen. If you've been to a big airport like in Asia or something, the airport are just huge, and you have enclosed space that makes sense in all of them. And you, of course, have all the departure gates that brings you to a different experience. They bring you to a different country. And while in this airport, the airport is a full ecosystem. So the airport is the hub for us. It's this place where you have districts, the duty free, the place with the food court, etc. And for us, it's a music district, a sport district, a video game district, an innovation district, a venture district, and we have to try to match all those elements through events. But the hub is a truly social environment that can be used by the users as a travel place, as an entry point to discover stuff that they don't know about and experience those metaverses once they took the gate, the departure gate.
Right. And I have a one quick question that wasn't here, but it's linked to the alphabet, and then we can move, Jonathan, to the community questions. Regarding this, this is something that also it's brought from the community overall, and I see it a lot because of the proliferation of metaverses. Some which are actually not metaverses. They call themselves metaverses. And I personally believe that the metaverse is a one whole thing, and we are creating spaces within the metaverse. But aside from that, and giving that room of the conception of metaverses, given the proliferation of them, what you consider is actually a metaverse, and what advice you can give to the community on what they should try to find within a metaverse in terms of experiences, in terms of a strong industry behind that project, and not just pure speculation. What are, if you have any personal opinion or advice to give people once exploring metaverses?
Yeah, that's a super interesting question, and it's often one, what is a metaverse, that I ask when I have a candidate
Right.
for a job in the company. And because it's so interesting, because if you ask 100 person, it's likely that you get 99 different answers, because everyone has this definition of it. And that's
Sorry,
what
sorry. I just gave a definition. I will be hired, or I just I missed the answer completely.
it's part. No, it's a really good answer that this is a
Okay,
whole, and it's exactly why we are building this hub. Like,
right.
we are not seeing everyone else as competitors. We have to steal their users, make stuff better. No, we just have to make stuff together for the betterment of Web3, for the good of the users. Like, we want to do video game, just good video game, people having fun. Yes, we are a business. We need to make profits. We need to have shareholders that are happy, but we want to make video games. And for me, the metaverse, it's one, global, and two, one thing that is very important to me is the link between the digital and the physical. The metaverse should be a bridge between something, not just a new space living on the side on some server and in our minds. No, it should have this interconnection between the physical and the digital. And it's exactly what, for instance, Xave is doing, bringing artists. You have real life artists, they perform. I live in France. I can't watch an artist show that comes from Latin America. And this is the connection, the real life connection between the digital and the physical. And for me, that is the metaverse. Everything else, it's nice, it's immersive experience, it's entertainment. But if you don't have this interconnection, it's not, for me, a metaverse. It's also what we're trying to do with football, an extension of the fan experience before the match, after the match. The chance for a Chinese person to visit an actual stadium in France, in Germany, in England, that they couldn't visit otherwise.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I tell the community that Thomas was present in the last Binance Live that we did with Kurist, and which is what Xave he said we're doing with artists, and with especially with the upcoming artists, and it's the same with Kuras. It's this impossible disattachment from reality. Reality will be a reality, and we keep being there. We are there. So the interconnection and the collaboration between that and the digital world, giving the opportunity that you might not have in the real world, that's the key, and that's exactly what Thomas said. So we agreed on that perfectly, and I know that Thomas was going to be going through them. We have been working for quite a time now. I wanted that opinion of Thomas and that vision of Thomas regarding the metaverse itself, aside from the alphaverse as a way to go in. If there is someone, I don't know how many we are, Jonathan. Do you have that data to make Thomas a bit nervous about it? But how
No, I
many?
know that we have waiting nearly to 2,000 people. I am waiting in Binance Live. They're waiting for the video, but now I don't know the number. No,
Oh,
Luca,
all
in
right.
3 minutes is going to send us
Well, at
the
least
new number.
2,000 people for sure are going to watch it, and the wait list to watch it full after the live is over. So at least 2,000 people, plus the people that is around there. If there is something from the community, if there's something on the chat that you
Yes,
can see
Mati,
around.
I have the first one. it's it's controversial. Yes, is what is the opinion about play to earn games or play to earn metaverse? Say there.
What is the what? Sorry.
What is your opinion about play to earn and play to earn metaverse?
My opinion is that play to earn is a needed revolution in the gaming space, but no one found the perfect solution yet. I'm looking for it. I have a couple ideas. We are working on one play to earn game, simulation game, because we think that it's an underexploited genre, like simulation, like a City Skyline, The Sims. It's stuff that NFTs are perfect for. But right now, never saw sustainable and coherent tokenomics and economy in a play-to-earn game. I played a lot of them. I was really big on Axie at the time, but with the rewards being in some small love potion SLP, and the only use case of the SLP is to actually sell it. It creates a permanent sell pressure on it, so it's an infinite loop of inflation and sell pressure, and the assets price goes down, the rewards go down, so the people play it less. And there is a main reason, another problem, a main problem for play-to-earn games is that they have been built by excellent cryptographers, excellent devs, but bad entertainers. The games that exist aren't fun at all. When I play them with an Excel sheet on the side, and I compute ROI, return on investment, rather than just having fun. When I'm playing, I don't know, right now I'm playing Far Cry 6, I just want to relax after work. And when I play the current play to earn game, I'm not playing them anymore, but I played a lot. I was just like, yeah, okay, how many days, how many percentage I need? And this is the biggest flaws. It's designed to be gamified finance and not video game with a financial component. And so I think that a lot of people are working on that. We are not the only one, but I didn't see yet the good solution and the good balance between play to earn and traditional game. There's one good example, but even that at that time it was corrupted by speculation. It's Tetan Arena. You can just play for free, or you can buy an NFT, and this NFT can earn you rewards. It's the same character, but it can earn rewards. But when they launched the characters, it was like $2,000, $3,000 because of the speculation, and you couldn't earn that much money. Right now, one character is 20 to 50, and you can earn 50 to 80 with one character, and then it depletes. You can only do, I don't know, 100 games with a character and get rewards. So there are ideas out there. I think it's needed because I played League of Legends, World of Warcraft, each for, I don't know, 10, 20,000 hours. Too much. And I have nothing to show for it except glasses. With the play to earn, you change that. You give something back to the users. They can play. Once they are done, they resell it and they had fun and they can make a profit. But they shouldn't expect to make X10. You don't play a game to make X10. You play a game to have fun and perhaps you win a little money.
Excellent, Thomas. Excellent, excellent. Right, right, right. It's true, but well, it's a little bit different. Use only for relax the game. That is well, here in Latin America, a lot of people is one of his first income of his life. Yes, well, that is a situation that well, it's very particular here in Argentina and Venezuela and different countries.
Yeah, big inflation countries, basically. Yeah,
Exactly. It's like basically, and well, in Asia, yes, another city there. Well, I have another one. I'm doing a follow up. Well, here is another one. Xave is part of the Alphaverse, and we know this. Matthias was co-founder of that project. What can you tell us about why CBI includes Xave work in its Alphaverse, and what is the strategy towards the future?
On the why, it's because Xave came up with some innovative technology and some very good ideas on how to bring concerts in the metaverse. I don't know if you guys played Fortnite, but some of the best and close to what should be a metaverse experience are the Fortnite concerts. Ariana Grande, there was Tyler or something like that, but some huge stuff. And Xave is putting the foundation for that in the metaverse with blockchain, with an ecosystem. So when we saw the first demos, we were very keen on working with them. And so after a couple of times, it transformed into an acquisition. And the strategy with Xave, because we already had a music strategy before Xave, since in December 2021, we tied a partnership with David Guetta to sell some NFTs, and all the proceeds were given to United at Home, which is the charity that David Guetta launched a little bit before COVID, and he was really big on it during COVID. He did concerts, and all the proceeds were given to United at Home, where $1 is equivalent to 1 mil. And so, but when we were working with Mr. Guetta, we didn't have the tech stack, the solution to bring concerts into the metaverse. Xave brought it, so we integrated into the whole music strategy.
Excellent, excellent, Thomas. And well, the second question: what do CBI look within a project to partner or acquire that project?
Oh well, I told you that was interesting for the community because I brought that before, and then again, there are a lot of entrepreneurs around, so yeah, that's why the question.
Yes, I think Thomas, a lot of part of the community are entrepreneurs. Yes, so
yeah,
this type of question is very interesting for people. Well, what decisions make the VCs around the world? Yes?
No, but we are looking for a lot of stuff. We have regular meetings to explore new coins, new projects, and new sectors, new themes, new topics. The first thing we are looking for is this how to frame this in English? Is this promising? Is this promising? Like, can we go big on this? Football, when someone got the idea about football, it was like, okay, is there a big football player, a big football experience? No. Can it be huge? Yes. Okay, we are going 100% in. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing with music. It's key themes. Like for now, our investment strategy is because we're not going to go on niches, I don't know, really small stuff. We have to make the metaverse a common ground where everyone can find some simple stuff that they enjoy: football, music, common causes. So our investment strategy, metaverse wise, is common causes. The big themes, so football, comic books, I don't know, anything that is general public, because crypto is already complicated. You have NFTs, you have wallet logging, MetaMask creation. If we want to onboard 10 million, 100 million users in the metaverse, we have to find those common causes. So metaverse wise, we're focusing on this. And outside of the metaverse, because we are investing in blockchain project, outside of the metaverse, we are getting back to trends and fundamentals. So the trends that I evoked are some of the we are not making the trends. We are listening to the market and see what can be trendy. And so again here, AI, zero knowledge proof, the digitalization, tokenization of real life assets. So the strong fundamentals for the future, like zero knowledge, AI. It's not for tomorrow. It's venture capital strategy. It's going to be really worth it in 5 years. AI, perhaps it's going to surprise everyone and be quicker than that. But zero knowledge proof, for instance, is like the Ethereum roadmap. It's long, tedious research because it's a lot of research. So yeah, we're looking for market trends outside of the metaverse and common causes inside of the metaverse.
Perfect.
That's great.
Perfect. Thanks for the response. And now, well, if I have the last one, Mati, from
Okay.
the community. I don't know if you have another question in your chat, but people want to know how CBI or VCs in general take a decision about the quantity, about the I think this talking about yes, about the how they evaluate a company. Yes, how they
Oh,
make a decision about the evaluation of a company.
that's a very interesting, very interesting question. And I actually wrote my master thesis on how to evaluate a crypto token. For if you evaluate a company, that's easy. It's a financial model. You have three different main financial models that are used by bank in France, in Singapore, in Hong Kong, and Goldman Sachs in the US. It's the multiples. So you take a company, you take its gross revenue, and you say, depending on the sector, it's worth 1 time, 3 times, 10 times its gross revenue. Or you can analyze the cash flow. You take the cash, the direct cash that the company creates, and you extrapolate, you predict what the company is going to make in cash in the next years, and you make a valuation on that. So that's the DCF, discounted cash flow. On traditional investments, that's basically you have multiples. There is a ton of multiples. You can use any financial metric to make a multiple. So there is multiples for listed company, multiples for small companies, etc. On the token, that's where it gets difficult. So you have a wide variety of tokens, and each falls into a specific category. There are, for me, several main categories. The commodities, so coins like Bitcoin, the stable coins, the coins that are backed by gold, the utility token, the currencies, and the others. For the commodities, you have to find a dedicated model. So for Bitcoin, for instance,
Where is Ethereum there?
Ethereum, it's in between commodity and utility token. If you ask the CFTC, it's a utility. If you ask the SEC, it's a security. And if you ask Vitalik, it's the three of them. Oh no, perhaps he won't say a security. So you have Bitcoin. One of my favorite Bitcoin valuation model is the price to energy. It costs energy to mint Bitcoins, and so the fair value, the right value, non-speculative value for Bitcoin is close to the production value. So right now it costs around 19 to 24,000 in electricity plus hardware to produce one Bitcoin, and so price of Bitcoin is around that. Most of the time, it's above its production price due to the speculative nature. But you can find on TradingView, I think it's Cuban. Cuban has an indicator that gives you a band with the production cost of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is below its production cost, it's under its fair value, so it's a good investment opportunity. If it's above, way above, be careful. So that's one way to value Bitcoin. And you have tons of ways. When you get to a utility token, you have to find a real life comparison. So one of the assets I valued in my thesis was Filecoin. So Filecoin is decentralized storage. Infrastructure is something that I have always been big on, but it never popped off. Perhaps this bull run will be the bull run where the pure infrastructure pops off, like Filecoin, storage, Siacoin. There is a ton of good infrastructure. But if you want to emulate, see how you can value Filecoin, you have to do a comparison with a similar company in the real world. And you can take, for instance, Dropbox. And so you take the valuation of Dropbox, the way it progressed in its storage capacity, number of users, and you replicate that on Filecoin, and then you derive the price from this user growth. So because you take the utility, you find a company with the same utility, that non-crypto company, so Dropbox, and then with a mathematical model, you can say what you think the price is going to do. But valuating a crypto token, it's very hard. And you have ton of ways like this to do it. One of is to use the equality equation that was developed by Irving Fisher in 1929, and that was repurposed by Chris Bernzik. Chris Bernzik is the head of, the CEO of Placeholder VC. Is one of the oldest VC in crypto. They started in 2015. So there is a ton of ways to do it, but the most logical one is to not do it, because everything is so speculative, and the order books are so thin that just buying 1 million can make a token go x10. So yeah, it's not ready.
And I think the criteria for crypto company was very difficult to define, no? But not only about the token, about the economy, about the usability of the, for example, of a metaverse. Yes, I think you have a lot of points to analyze between the investment and between the not only the people that work into that company. I think you need to think about the token, about the market supply. Well, another thing
Right.
that it's a lot of things into the crypto that is different between the traditional investment. Yes.
Well, Xave is a project that has its own coin. It's often we focus on a product and the usability of that token within the product. So giving usability will give some background to the coin to, okay, if I have this coin, I can use it in something. That's the value within the coin. But then you've encountered that there are so many metrics that you have to take into account. That's the main thing, not just being just speculative, but give users a reason to buy the coin, to hold the coin, and to use it for a single purpose, and relate it to an industry as we do with music. But yeah, it's a long way to go and to have a clearer map of what each token is, and the purpose of each token is, and the security and the volatility of one or the other, knowing that this is going to move crazy, this is going to be safe and stable in the long term, rather than being affected, even being a stable coin, for example, being either way affected by bear markets like the one that we passed or we're going through. No one knows, but I like to think that we are going through the final bits of it. But well, that was my observation regarding the being a project that has its own coin and goes through these challenges. Having a coin that you have to relate to the project and relate to the industry that we are backing. So I don't know if you have anything else. I don't have anything else. I went through everything that I wanted through the alphabets. I don't know if there is any other question to make an end to it.
No, we do resume about the principal question that we have there
Okay,
on the previous form that we
perfect.
sent to the community. Well, I think that the last part was very interesting for the entire.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
the
think a
entirety.
lot
It
of
was very educational. On
yeah,
top of we aiming to highlight what CBI is doing, what Thomas is involved in, and he's not within this knowledge CBI approach. But we always ended up into an analysis of the ecosystem and how things are going, because in the end, in this case, when asking Thomas about how CVR approaches things, being investment, being acquire a company, or moving around the ecosystem, uh, you end up talking about the reality and the situation, the current situation of each of those, and it becomes very educational from someone that has the knowledge that Thomas has.
okay.
So I think
Thomas,
this,
that is a joke here. A friend of mine of another company say that it's very difficult to receive, give more than 30 minutes to a meeting. Yes, we can only time for pitch. Say there. Well, it's true. Yes, you say before that you have a lot of meeting around the all the week. Yes, so I understand that you have to evaluate, you have to analyze. It's not only have meetings. You have to well.
But there
Be,
is if we can end on this, I'm not sure it's too proper to say that, but
it's it's your Binance life, and it
uh,
and
in investments, you can make, if you're a good financial analyst, you can make a financial model say whatever you want. All financial analysis is biased. The bias only depends on who pays you. And
thank
that's
you
why
everyone for joining. On that
no,
we
but
don't
note,
have no
that's why
no more
some
words.
analysts at Goldman Sachs, I don't like Goldman Sachs, they can push an action, a stock, while it's not that good to push, or you can evaluate a coin. If you're bullish on it, you're not saying that
right.
not gonna it's gonna fall to zero. You're gonna find a way to include your psychological bias into your math, even if it's not conscious.
Yeah.
And so I can make a financial model, take one of mine, and say that according to my calculations, this coin is going to $10. And so that's a bit of the hidden magic of the financial and valuation, etc. If you take a DCF, you have on a big company, not on a small startup, because on a small startup you have less to work with. You have so much data that feeds the model that if you change this one and you know the interaction between them, you can make the valuation go up or go down, depending on who's the client. If you work for an investment bank, you want the valuation to go down. If you are doing the valuation of your own company, you want the valuation to go up.
That's clear. That answers the question. So
Yes,
I think we are good. It's been an hour. It's been
Yeah,
yes,
quite.
already.
Yeah. The time goes fast.
yes.
You don't have to tell me. Well, first of all, Thomas, thank you for your time. for making yourself available to do this and to extend every answer to be as educational as you could. On top of answering the question itself, everything was answered and nothing was duck and avoided. So that's very interesting. That tells about how convinced you are about what you talk about and the knowledge you have behind your background. So thank you for your time. Thank you to the CBI team. Thank you, Luca, and thank you, Binance Live, once again, to give us this space that will keep providing quality content like this one and quality people to talk about things that they actually know about. And that's all for me. Johnny, if you want to close things up, thank you everyone for being here.
Thanks, Matty. Thanks, Thomas. Well, it's a pleasure. Yes, we have a love meeting. And I want to say, well, CBI, Thomas, when you want to have this space, it's for you. Yes.
Oh, my pleasure. I come back whenever you want to talk investments. We can talk investment, trading, anything blockchain.
Yeah,
Doors
yes.
are open.
If you want to talk
like
AI or cooking, I cook too.
Excellent.
It will
Well,
be
thanks, team.
like a big change of topics, but maybe slowing down and to mix it to another thing. We can mix it in the next one. How cooking, which is reality, can be brought to the metaverse, and we can take that question into that. Well, again, thank you, Thomas. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Johnny, to be part of this as well. Like always, my partner in crime and my partner in Binance Live, and look out for the space again. So, thank you, everyone, very much.
Thank you, guys.
Gracias.
Bye bye.
Gracias, Lucas.
Bye,
Gracias
bye.
a la comunidad.
Gracias,
Bye
Lucas.
bye.
Gracias, comunidad.
Bye.